Welcome to Wager Talk TV. Scott Spreitzer here with Matt Holt of CGT Sportsbooks in Las Vegas. Kelly Stewart at Kelly in Vegas is where you follow her. Matt, of course, at Matthew Holt VP. And guys, I want to jump into this big matchup between the Raiders and the Broncos. And I wore the Raiders shirt just for Kelly here. We'll explain that in a little bit. Matt, this has become the last couple of years the most popular team in Southern Nevada. At the window from the public talking about the Oakland Raiders because they're soon to be the Sin City Raiders. So I got to ask you, first two games they cover. You told me going into both games that, you know, it's a huge liability, obviously. The Sharps were going a little bit against Oakland the first couple of weeks. This past week, I don't know if it ended up this way, but you had mentioned to me on Friday that the Sharps had decided to join the public and were jumping on the side of the Raiders. Then they get clocked by the Washington Redskins. What kind of a swing is it when Oakland covers as opposed to when they don't behind the counter?
It's a monster swing for us, and it was even a more monumental swing for us this week than normal because it was the Sunday night football game. And no matter what, there are opportunities, and people don't realize this. Half the time on Monday Night Football, the books read red to the game because there's so many parlays and teasers out there that we can't win on either side. And on Sundays, it's the same thing. If the public had a good early start to the day, there's so many teasers and parlays attached to that Sunday night game that it can really be trouble for the book. In this case, we had the public get absolutely destroyed all morning and afternoon, and everyone was looking to refire, chase, and get their money back on the Oakland Raiders. It didn't hurt the situation either that Rob Kelly and the tight end for Jordan Reed for Washington both announced out right before the game. An overwhelming amount of money, both public and sharp, on the Oakland Raiders Sunday night. Ended up having our biggest football weekend in almost 2 years. Big seven-figure win on Saturday, huge seven-figure win on Sunday for the books. You
never text emojis, but I got like 25 happy faces from Matt on Monday morning on my phone by their big weekend.
For the boys.
I got to ask you real quickly before we get to Kelly. You open this line though. Denver won. They're up to 3.
Yeah, interestingly enough here, so early in the week, and here's one of the disparities that a lot of people don't realize, the public doesn't come in till the weekend normally. And when they do, they tend to come in soft during the week. We see big public action come in from Friday on as the weekend bettors get in full force, especially from Thursday on because they'll attach that Thursday night game to parlays and teasers going Sunday and Monday. A lot of the early action is sharp action, and the sharp action early is all on the Denver Broncos here, and history is in their favor. You know, Denver at home in September is always a big favorable choice for the sharp bettors. Teams playing at altitude early in the year tend to not fare well. So there's a lot of reasons to like Denver this week, and as bad as Oakland played on Sunday night, it's just re-emphasizing the point, I think, to a lot of people that this Denver's the right side this weekend, and we're seeing a lot of that. This is a line that's already up to 3 from 1. So it's going to be interesting to see where this one ends up once that Raider money comes in, maybe from Thursday onward.
Kelly, you're doing a weekly video cast of Raider football. You're one of the co-hosts. You talk from a Vegas perspective. Tell the folks where they can find that.
So we're actually doing stuff on thereviewjournal.com as well as the Review Journal's Facebook page. It's a live video we do every week after the games. So it's super fun because I get to talk numbers and then we get to do some social media stuff. So it's always fun to read fans' meltdown tweets. And there was a lot on Sunday. So I was really happy with the outcome of the game. I myself was on the Redskins, even though, like Matt said, there were several reasons for me not to be. It was too late. I already had my bet in and had to roll with it. And I was really happy that that offense was just completely shut down.
So as bettors and bookmakers, we all follow every team closely. Your gig, though, means you have to follow Oakland maybe a little bit closer than the rest of the teams. So during the preseason and before the season began, biggest question mark for me about the Oakland Raiders was their defense. They come out, they wipe out a couple of teams to start. Well, didn't really wipe out Tennessee, but won on the road when a lot of us thought that Tennessee would catch them there, then destroyed the Jets. Then the defense is really humbled on Sunday night against the Skins. So for you, what do you take from what you've seen from this Raiders defense the first 3 games? Are they the one that has all those question marks before the season, or are they the one that played well against Tennessee and the Jets?
You know, I think what we saw, at least in the preseason, which is kind of unfair because you don't see the full-on first-team defense, was actually really bad. I bashed them pretty hard on several occasions, and I'm like, Khalil Mack cannot be the only one that cares on this team. And we saw them again against the Titans, and I was actually impressed with how well they played against the Titans. Of course, it's the Jets. We were all low on the Jets to start the season. And then, like you said, they got really humbled by Kirk Cousins, who I actually had a debate with one of my producers, and he's like, Kirk Cousins is an elite. And I go, I never once used the word elite, but he's a good B quarterback.
Yes, he is.
He's got talent, and we saw that he completely exploited the Raiders defense. And on the flip side, we have this Raiders offense who really got shut down their whole aerial attack by, I'll say they're a little bit better than a mediocre secondary, but not much. So that's where I'm looking at this week versus Denver is how is this team going to rebound?
All right, I'm going to give you one, and none of us are trend heads here or anything like that. We all handicap from a different perspective, but it's always fun to talk about these kind. And I got this off of StatFox also. Home chalk off a road loss, that would be Denver, against a team off a blowout loss of 14 or more, that would be Oakland. Home chalk 49-95 against the spread. And guys, the Raiders 10-3 against the spread as a road dog under Del Rio. Again, none of us are trend heads, but what's your pick for this game?
You know, it's tough. Everybody kind of knows, even though I do follow the Raiders really closely, my whole life I've been a Broncos fan, so I get a lot of flack when I bet the Broncos. But in hindsight, I did bet the Bills last week, so you know, you guys got to give me a little bit of credit here. This is a team that I know pretty well. This is a Broncos team who, in Mile High, is just absolutely incredible. To back up your stat, 35-7. They are, after coming off a road loss, heading back to Denver. So here's where I bet it was at -1, obviously. Now Matt said all the sharp guys now bet it at -3. But this is a team where I don't think Denver loses this game. I don't know how they lose this game. So I may not be betting them at 3 at this point. But you may be looking at a Denver money line play here. I don't see Denver losing this game. I mean, Trevor Siemian in Denver is also, for some reason, so much more well put together than what we saw in Buffalo. And this is where you have to think about where the defense is, where their head is at. There was a crazy kind of weird, I think it was a personal, I don't remember what it was. They called on Von Miller. Did you see it when he went to pick up Tyrod Taylor?
Yeah, definitely.
Whoop, too slow, you know? And like after that, it just changed the whole.
I had the Bills. I was real happy about that.
Me too. Oh, but then you have me, who's Von Miller's my favorite player in the NFL, and I'm like, oh, that was rough, but I'm not complaining.
Yep.
So you have to kind of think about like that, where this defense head is at, and where you're going back to the AFC West. So you just have to think like, who's the better team here? And it's the Denver Broncos.
Good stuff from Kelly Stewart. Check her out at Kelly in Vegas. Matt Holt at Matthew Holt VP. Don't forget 7 days all access package for many of the cappers at wagertalk.com. Just $99. For Matt, for Kelly, I'm Scott. Stick around. More videos to come for this weekend's football action.